Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an analysis of our Marvel Rivals Championship Series Season 0 Doom's Rise. I'm going to be talking today about the Asia bracket. We're right into it at this point, but I am not alone. From the main broadcast, it's the man, the myth, the legend, it's Ash. How you doing, buddy?
Honestly, doing great, having fun. Should be very fun indeed. Oh, I do have the stomach flu though, so I could not work today. I am very upset. It's not fun. Not fun. Actually, not fun.
You were definitely missed. I missed you at least.
No, genuinely, you know how insane it was to have to go to bed? Try to rest up for today, and then all of a sudden I wake up to 13, 14 different DMs from random people I do not know, and I'm like,
saying,
where
were you?
What the hell? They're like, yeah, where are you? You're not on commentary today? And I'm like, Jeff fan? No, I have the flu. But I appreciate the concern.
I'm glad you've been able to join me here at least. So we're at least going to be able to cover the brackets and talk about some of the games. So let's jump into it and start talking about these games. Let's start at the top. So I'm currently on the round 10 games on my side, which is basically the beginning of the bracket. And starting from the top there, Luxury Watch, a team that at least I've followed for a very long time, already going down to the lower bracket. That is quite surprising to me.
And that's against BEAC here. So it looks like, and looking at our bracket here, that was at 4 p.m. earlier in the morning. One of the games I should have covered, but it wasn't. Anyways, that was BEAC finishing out with 5, 2, 3 respectively on Shin Shibuya, Hell's Heaven, and Symbiotic Surface. Eee.
A strong performance. And again, it's from one of the top teams, Luxury Watch. BEAC, I don't know a lot about them. They're not a team I've been able to cover. Were you able to get to them in any of your games?
I don't believe so, because looking at my schedule, I should say notepad here. The only games that we really covered moving forward were Shaft versus Colgate. That was another thing, and that was very much the rise of Ben 10 inches, as the name says. And then we had Ooga Booga versus Rice Thief, Smart Fellow Metal Advice, and a couple others. I don't believe I had the chance to cover them.
Okay, very cool. But I've at least get the chance to cover Luxury Watch. They've always had a fairly dominating performance. So seeing them getting knocked down this early in the upper bracket was obviously quite surprising to me. So we already do know some of the results in the lower bracket. We could have a look at round 11 and see that they took out Good Boy, a team that's been fighting through the lower bracket for a while now.
All right, it looks like Good Boy actually went really the extra mile, considering that we're moving in around 10, right, our lower bracket. It's still best of 5, all the way up from best of 3, if I remember correctly. So going 3-2 right now, Luxury Watch took it, but it looks like Good Boy did give him a little bit of trouble moving forward on Beard and T'Challa and Spider Islands, which is fairly interesting to me. If I remember correctly, Spider Islands, that is our convergence map, isn't it?
Spider Islands, that is... God, now I'm trying to remember. Spider Islands, that is... Yeah, it's the Convergence one, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha, which I know is a little finicky, because really thinking about it on defense, I have seen some comps Penny Parker is usually ran on that one. And then moving forward on attack, another team comp that has started popping up on Spider Islands, at least Convergence, it's been the Rocket Raccoon and Punisher comp, which we've definitely been seeing more of in Asia, and I've kind of been abusing lately in ranked. It's worked out a little too well.
Infinite ammo and a 5-10% healing bonus. I think it's 5. Really strong, as it turns out. Also with Bucky as well, with Winter Soldier. But Punisher is obviously a little bit more standard in a lot of comps that aren't just trying to isolate people.
Yeah, because I feel Bucky is on the lines more of poke, and then going in with the grapple tainted voltage and then finishing off from there. While Punisher, very solid frontline DPS, he has plenty of damage. And then what my friend, commentator of mine, Artie, and I were doing in rank the other day with the Punisher Rocket combo was not only the infinite ammunition, but then tacking on the healing bonus leading into infinite ammo, and then Cosmic Yarn Amplifier to make things so much more worse for everybody involved. We did get accused of abusing the system a little, but you know what? A free win's a free win. And for these teams in particular, that's exactly what you want. Exactly. I don't think the other team thought that, though. It was,
what do they know? They lost.
No, salty. Exactly. Lost brutally. Couldn't be me, though.
Oh, dear. So, some of the other round 1 games for the bracket that we have here, the unfortunate loss of, or at least unfortunate lower bracket defeat of one of our Australia-New Zealand teams, with Kanga Esports and Oz Tawny having to face each other in the first round, which is unlucky for, like, the ANZ fans.
That's unfortunate, which, weirdly enough, one of the, ANZ fans that does include me, I have been keeping up with Kanga Esports just a little bit, especially since they announced their roster. So seeing these two have to go head-to-head against each other, I'm like, we're not going to have to watch this on stream, are we? And, I don't think we did, but it still is brutal to hear about it. I kind of felt bad, just a little bit, as that one American-Australian fan, not from the country, having to see this was a little brutal. But then Kanga Esports, of course, it came out on top. That is a 3-0 win going into Hell's Heaven, Yggdrasil Path, as well as Hall of Dajalia, which is the one map, interestingly enough, that I don't think I've seen as played moving into our Asia region. But it does get a little hectic considering how close quarters this can be, and then at some points how open and how convoluted it can also.
It is super interesting that we don't see that map too often in Asia. I think you are right. I'm just trying to go back through my memory of
because it's mostly been Hell's Heaven, Yggdrasil Path, and at least Spider Isle. Shin Shibuya especially, I believe that is one of our most played maps moving forward.
I think you might be right. Well, either way, Kanga, at least they show that they've got that flexibility and that taking such a strong win is a pretty big deal when you're going against a team like Mimiak that we've not seen a lot of, at least us as casters. So Kanga coming in there and showing a fairly, I will say, a little bit dominating performance, because they did get a couple shutouts on the main broadcast. So it's going to be exciting to see. And obviously, people like a lot of people, they look at these Asia regions and they see dominance, because we've all grown up with StarCraft and we've all grown up with League of Legends and stuff like that, where we expect to see Asia kind of dominate. So we see these ANZ teams coming in, and there's always a little bit of fan support behind them.
In you saying that, I am having a suspicious feeling, right, that all of a sudden we're going to see, Marvel Rivals go international with a lot of these LAN events, and all of a sudden, in the next 2 to 3 years, I'm probably going to give you a call, be like, Tetcher, how come an NA team has not won a single Marvel Rivals championship whenever we have to get on the international stage? I don't like it. It's TSM all over again.
No.
It's Cloud9 all over again. It's Team Liquid all over again. We're never getting an NA win, and I hate it. Guarantee next 3 years.
I want to jump to a lower bracket game here when we're talking about Oz. And they are against Oz Tawny going down. They're against Mud Dog. Now, Mud Dog have had a heck of a run through the lower bracket. They're also the most international team out of any of the others here. They have a South Korean player, 2 Australians and a New Zealand player, a British player, a Vietnamese player, and a Singaporean flex player.
Hold on, where's my pen and pencil here? Let me... I have to calculate this, Tetcher. I don't think my brain can handle just how many countries we have gone through in total.
Yeah.
I'm writing this on a paper plate, that's totally fine.
They've got 7 players.
Okay.
I assume one of them might be the coach, but they've got them marked down here as flex. This might just be a Wikipedia thing. In fact, I can have a look. I can have a look at the roster.
So go through these countries one more time with me.
Hang on, I can just look at their roster page. Do we have anyone down as coach? Yeah, they have a captain and a coach there, but they do have 7 players as well. Yeah. So we have Nyang, who is from South Korea. We have Revsi, who is from New Zealand. Netra is from the United Kingdom.
Okay, got you.
IX9 and JMac are both from Australia.
Got you.
Jay is from Vietnam, and Lumi is from Singapore.
All right, total that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different countries to a single team. Okay.
I can only assume this is a university group that have met. This will be my assumption. A group of people who've met each other at university for travel purposes and have studied in the same area and know each other from there. Or perhaps this is just a big international friend group who just came together on the same server and let's do it. Let's enter the tournament, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, I was going to say our lower bracket, like I've mentioned this time and time before, how much of a gauntlet run it's going to be for a lot of these teams. And with some of these big team names falling down in the first place, it's going to be even tougher. I do have faith in Mud Dog, though. I've seen him play a little bit here and there. I think they're fairly solid. So you know what? Moving forward, I have to give them a little bit of credit. And then I say that seeing Oz Tourney and how much, they put up a fight with Kanga Esports, and no matter how much they fell down 3-0, that's definitely going to be a match to have to watch out for. I will be spectating that a little bit later if I have the time and I feel better. They're still going to have to contend with Luxury Watch. They did manage to take down Good Boy 3-2.
Big shout out though to Mud Dog, the team that they got a bye in the first round of their lower bracket, because in round 10, in the upper bracket, we can see that there was a bye again for Mud Dog, and that was from Crispy Fries, a team that I've been covering since like the very beginning. But I guess just due to schedule, they had to buy out twice now. They went down due to a bye, I think, and now they are out due to not being able to take part. So that is the bye that is on my screen right now. Is Crispy Fries, who are now eliminated. Which is interesting, considering who is in the upper bracket, which is, I believe, the next upper bracket game we have in terms of order. Tom Yong-kung, the team that, in like one of my first ever casts, played against Crispy Fries and
Crispy
lost.
Fries. I watched that.
It was in the best out of one setup that we had, where it's just a single map, but they did lose. So we have a team that we have seen can beat a team in the upper bracket is out. So Tom Yum-kung, they're coming in here. They're always going to have that little like tick in the back that they could not get a solid full tournament run, because in the open qualifiers, they lost a series to a team that is out. So they have a lot to prove going into this.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that Tom Yum-kung has a chance.
They absolutely do. I mean, they put up a heck of a fight. It was back and forth. It really came down to like the last couple seconds between those two teams. But they've got like that chip on their shoulder. They've got a lot to prove here.
And I was going to say, in watching the Crispy Fries versus Tom Yum-kung matchup, I remember the first go-round, which was pretty interesting to me, was picks and bans. I'd say it was pretty obvious that, Hella and Hawkeye were getting banned. Yeah. But then with Tom Yum-kung having a protect, going forward with EU coming in on the Punisher, and then Crispy Fries being smart enough to ban the Rocket Raccoon and knowing that, hey, wait a damn minute. No, we're not playing this matchup in our lobby. And on Yggdrasil Path, that being Convoy, they knew it would have been as damaging as it would have been on Attack. That's the infinite ammunition and the CYA, as we mentioned before. So it kind of put Tom Yum-kung in a bit of an interesting spot where they ran the Punisher in front line. They had Raw Dog, right, on the Moon Knight to at least get in a lot of those sneak kills with Crescent Blade, and then the Aunts to bounce off accuracy and damage. And then on your left, with a Jeff pick that I was not expecting to see anytime moving forward in the comp, because let's be honest, and as much as it pains me to say, Jeff is not exactly the best healer or strategist moving forward.
His ult is one of the most game-changing things ever, but that's
other than
best
that, his
thing.
kit's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that is really what it comes down to. It was early in the tournament as well. It's something we should take into account. The game had been out for maybe 2-3 weeks when this tournament actually started. So we will see these teams like figuring stuff out. We've seen comp, especially in Asia, adjust so much, where we started off with almost every single game was Doctor Strange and Magneto. Those were the main tanks in the open qualifiers, in the ignition rounds, etc. And it has evolved to still seeing those picks, but we're starting to see some more Incredible Hulk, to like go with some Iron Man mains who are showing how powerful that can be. We're seeing some Groot sneak in for some cool strategies with that. We are starting to see those tank picks at least adjust. We're starting to see Penny for like holding points.
That's true.
It's all evolving as time goes on, as people figure out new strategies. I don't know if you saw the cast I did yesterday. There is a strategy that has like sort of just started coming into play, where people use the Groot wall to create a platform. You can place them sideways in the air above an entrance.
The Fortnite build strategy?
Fortnite build strategy. And then you perch someone up like a Wolverine on the platform. Just dive people from above and isolate tanks or pick off backliners. And that's something we're only just starting to see.
That is actually foul. I didn't even think about that. I was just like reminiscing on the Fortnite build, like Groot meta that I have been seeing pop up in a lot of these matches. And then the fact that Groot is really used for a lot of, rejection, redirect on flanks, and then making sure these points, more of a keep out game, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I expected that, though.
No, that's
Wolverine dive Groot meta is not the thing I expected or
not on the 2025
going forward.
Card.
But hell, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. If it works, it works.
Yes, it does. So, Tom Young, they did get a bye through their first round. Main tank Diff, unfortunately, were not able to jump in for their game. So, Tom Young, they do make it forward. Which means main tank Diff, I believe they do get a second chance playing against previous tournament winners, Marv2L Riva 1S, aka Marvel Rivals.
Okay, that is a whole name. I genuinely thought Tetcher was having a stroke. I got concerned. Jolly.
It is quite the name, but they have CBT Asia Tournament Champion as their tag. So they are self-proclaimed previous tournament winners.
Okay. Got you.
They also have a crap ton of players.
How many players are we talking about? It can't be that many.
Excluding captains and coaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 9 or 10? Wait, no, it has to be 10. There's 12 people in here. It's 12 out of 12, and they have a captain and a coach, so it has to be 10. I just can't count.
Not to say, how many substitutes are we talking about here? Jeez.
Enough.
Like, if someone gets sick, it's like, yeah, we have one already. What? You have like a 10-minute deadline. You should. No, we have one. Okay, that's substitute 6. Oh, no, we have 5. I beg your finest pardon.
Dude, Kid Ink has been sitting in the back just waiting for his moment to bust out the Iron Fist. I don't know if that's what he plays. I'm just making stuff up here. We are ready for any scenario. Because we've seen that. We've seen teams who have swapped players, a Schmungus in EU, swapped players mid-series. Obviously, you can't do it mid-game, but it's completely allowed mid-series, where they were like, we need something different. We need like a little bit more aggression, which means we need someone to take over the heal so that one of our healers can go into a character that they're very confident with. Let's bring in Limbu. They're going to jump in to pick up some of that healing so that we can go a little bit more aggressive. And that is the cool thing about having these extra players and these subs.
Honestly, good to see. Just in case, man, I wish I had a team that had that many subs back in the day, but no, we have to find someone off a random Discord. That is very unfortunate. But I think another thing that I would like to talk about besides these teams is the Asia meta and how much of a differing thing it is compared to like NA in Europe. Because I've seen some insane plays here in NA, but then going over into Asia, I don't think I've seen anything as insane as we had to witness in round 6 to 9, which, Tetcher, there are more and more people starting to pick up Wolverine, and I am so glad this is happening.
We're seeing a lot more Wolverine, we're seeing a lot more Namor coming in as well, we're seeing so many adjustments. Like, I just loaded up the team sheets for like the last match in the upper bracket, and it's all Namor. He's just Namor and Hela. They're just showing up every single game. The Wolverines, like you say, they're realizing just how good it is at breaking through that front line, especially the front line that was so favored in Asia. That Doctor Strange and that Magneto. You can't shield your team if you're in the enemy team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it comes to Doctor Strange, you can only do so much, right? Especially off the shield and get shredded. And then I feel Wolverine's few strengths that he has, right? It's the Undying range. He can pretty much just get bonus health off of that, if I remember correctly. It's the Berserker stacks, which stack more and more with each, more damage you do over the claw strikes. And then here comes, what was it? It was his dive, right? In which you can pretty much snatch somebody up, claw at them, drag them back into your team front line, and all of a sudden they're shredded. And it's the nastiest thing possible over in Asia PC and console. We saw this with like 2 key players that I felt really shined in Wolverine. It was Joki and it was Tanoshi, who after the fact, right after their respective matches and averaged, I'm almost certain, 30 to 40 eliminations per game of Wolverine. Wolverine was immediately target banned after the fact. I don't blame them for it.
We are seeing a little bit of that Wolverine sneak out. We're also seeing again, this is more of an NA thing, but it's starting to creep into Korea, not as much, but we're starting to see Star-Lord in some games.
Okay.
It's definitely more of like an NA thing, but it's appearing very rarely. They definitely seem to prefer their Hellas, their Psylocks, their Namors nowadays, but Star-Lord is sneaking in purely because of the team-up ability of Adam Warlock, Mantis, and Star-Lord. Having 3 bodies who have an extra revive in the field constantly gives you so much capability to hold points.
No, genuinely, it's like so much good sustain, right? Even though Mantis has sustain, she can like pretty much fight for herself as a DPS strategist kind of hybrid in multiple ways than one. I should know this. I've been sniped by a Mantis before. It's not fun. Oh. And then getting free revives in the field, it's like, wait, I just took out that Star-Lord. No, he had Cocoon the entire time, leaves himself invulnerable for just a few seconds, and he can still spot you in DPS. It's nasty stuff. You can't really contend with it if you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Really, really so. And the fact that Mantis can prevent backlines as well, as she's one of the backlines, along with Luna Snow, that actually has a crowd control, whereas most of the rest don't. In fact, do any of them? I mean, Jeff technically, but Loki doesn't, Rocket doesn't, Jeff doesn't outside of his ult. Am I missing anyone?
I would say Rocket, maybe because I'm like, built different as a Rocket one trick. But no, you're right, unfortunately.
No CC, sadly.
Too much, which you can't really do much.
Adam Warlock, of course.
Rocket, Adam Warlock, he's, interestingly enough, one of the more known squishy strategists. Doesn't really have like high evasion capability.
Protection except to, spread the damage about with Soul Bond.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah. So yeah,
other than
they're
that,
the only two that have like any way to keep themselves alive just with some CC. Rocket can dash away, Loki can sort of run away. Adam Warlock,
deception.
Squishy boy.
Man, which is really unfortunate considering canonically he's supposed to be, one of the perfect human beings or whatever he is, in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then going into Marvel Rivals, it's like, hey, do you want to see me squish this Adam Warlock? Do you want to see me do it again? Maybe 3 more times, maybe 5? That's the unfortunate situation right now.
Damage output's good, though. And that's where you see a lot of Adam Warlock with the charge-up shots, just from across the map, deleting half a health pool. It really slows down an attack, and I think that's the point of Adam Warlock. It slows stuff down, having revives and, of course, the Karmic Revival. Those are the meta adjustments that we have been seeing from teams.
True. And speaking of meta, another thing that has been popping up a little more, and I feel is kind of standard even going into Asia, it's the Gamma team-up,
Yes.
With Iron Man, Hulk, and Doctor Strange. You want to talk a little bit more about that, Tetcher?
Damage is good. In case people did not know, the ability to blow people up quickly is really good. If you throw Iron Man in with an Incredible Hulk, he eliminates people very quickly.
It's so nasty. And not only that, when you're really thinking about it, right? The Gamma team up between Hulk and Doctor Strange, that's the Gamma Maelstrom.
Damage as well.
It does, it swaps out Strange's cape, the Dark Magic AoE, into the Gamma Maelstrom AoE, and all of a sudden, that's added radiation damage that you have to watch out for. And going into the Asia region, we've seen the combo where it's, Doctor Strange usually goes in with shield, hits him with a whip, and then Eye of Agamotto leading into the AoE for packed on damage. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is really nasty. I'm not saying this needs to be nerfed going into Season 1. I'm not throwing that out there, but I just think this is fairly strong.
It is strong. It's a really solid, 3-person setup, and bringing that in, you've got a great frontline tank in terms of someone who can hold the front line with the form of the Doctor Strange. You have a great damage dealer who harasses in the form of the Iron Man and can actually blow people up. And you've got a backline diver to disrupt them in the form of the Hulk. And then you've been seeing the combos with whatever fits, or if you're going just hyper greedy, the exact Guardians of the Galaxy team up we just talked about give you both your healers with Adam Warlock and Mantis, and then Star-Lord off to the side. Both of your damage dealers are flying now, means that the opponent has to react to them if you want to actually hit anyone. It's a risky comp because if your opponent has a Hela who can hit their headshots, it becomes a little bit weaker, but it has such good team-up potential. That's what we did see in NA as well.
No, genuinely. Then, speaking of Hela, right? Hela and Hawkeye are 2 most banned characters, obviously leading into Season 0, which every game that I've commentated for, I'm almost certain leading into Asia, has been Hela and Hawkeye ban, Hela and Hawkeye ban, Psylocke target ban, Hela and Hawkeye ban even more so. And then I had people ask me, hey, why are these characters being banned? Really explaining it, right? Hela has very good capabilities in being able to lock down and stun a lot of heroes on the field, and then catch off stragglers. That's a very big thing for her. And then her ulti, Goddess of Death, is even nastier, right? Certain maps that I've seen played, being Yggdrasil Path, or maybe we're going to Shin Shibuya, is that if you don't exactly have a building to kind of defend yourself from, or don't take the Hela down, or maybe don't have a Doctor Strange shield to kind of protect yourself from, it leaves you not only vulnerable, but then obviously you're getting picked off by the crows in like short amount of time. And then here comes Hawkeye, right? You have the hypersonic arrows. It's nothing but arrows, which should be a pretty interesting store name moving forward for like a hunting gear shop. That's another thing entirely. And then it's the fact that even though Hawkeye has, again, like Adam Warlock, low evasion capabilities, it leaves him in a very vulnerable position, he still has the arrow charge. And then even if you try to run away, if he pops the ulti, you know, being the hunter's senses, he can still shoot at your shadows, leaving you in, putting you in a bad position, right? You can't exactly escape, and it's kind of a scary thing. On top of that, 20% damage buff for the season. Let's talk about that. It's gross. I didn't even notice until somebody pointed it out to me on stream. On stream!
Yeah, it's a little much. There's a reason why people aren't as comfortable playing into those right now, because again, it's fairly early in the game. As time goes on, you'll start to see those style of characters get a little bit worse, but Hela especially is always going to be relevant, just due to the fact that he's a hit scan hero, and we'll likely still see Hawkeye at least remain partially relevant until teams start going a little divier with certain compositions and start getting more used to being able to circumvent these front walls. Maybe we'll start to see triple assassin compositions to blow that up, maybe triple tank compositions to punish them and just get onto that backline. All possible, all adjustments we'll probably see as we go on. So to move on to actually the last game we need to talk about in the upper bracket, at least, a name I can't pronounce, KXJH versus Invincible. We were talking about those pick-off, blow-up heroes like the Hawkeye. If you actually have a look at their round one game, sorry, not round one. Which round is it? I think it might be round two. There we go.
I was going to say, which round are they in? Because I'm like round 11
round
now.
10 is what you're looking for. So the upper bracket games.
Thank you.
And then it's the bottom game. And if you go onto their replay button and hit the 3 lines on game number 2, you'll see something very interesting.
Wait, Asia, PC or console?
PC.
Oh, I'm in PC. I am not seeing them. Hold on.
So, round 10, and if you go to the bottom, you will have the Korean Japanese name I don't know versus Invincible.
Okay.
Then you hit the little play button there. And then on round number 2, the 3 lines will take you to the end screen. And you will see something very interesting. What are your thoughts?
You say round 2?
Round 2, please.
All right, I'm sure it can't be that bad. In KHAH, we have... Let's see. Oh, I know you fucking lying. Oh, wait a damn minute. What? This is just a full-on mirror match, except for the fact that we have a Black Widow pick and a Psylocke.
Black Widow versus Psylocke, and the Black Widow, apparently, I only saw part of this game, and I did
23 and 3!
I did see Black Widow go in there. 11 final hits, so 11 actual eliminations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Good heavens. So, yeah.
So 11 final hits and 11,736 damage.
Yeah. So, I don't know how much of the game was played with Black Widow, because I only saw part of that one, but we were talking about the damage output, and in this case, you could say that it was just to buff the Hawkeye. They out-damaged and out-KO'd the Hawkeye.
Okay, I understand now, because I imagine Happy and Katie were probably going for the super sensory hunt team-up, if I remember correctly, because that allows Black Widow to be able to shoot the same shadows that Hawkeye can see with his ulti. It's gross stuff, it's better accuracy. But the fact that we have, for the first time in a very long time, a Black Widow pick that's not as troll as I would think, right, from Happy, and it outshines your second DPS on this team.
We'll have to have a look at that at some point. In the comments, let us know how much they played Black Widow, but they played it. They did it.
Okay. A little too well, because looking at our other team here and then seeing it's a mirror match, but then the stats are wildly different. Yeah. Especially, I don't want to say DPS diff, but this might be the case. It might be the case.
I mean, it could in theory be team diff, because I just looked at game number 3. They did it again.
Oh my Christ.
Happy too.
Okay.
9k damage, which is the highest on the team by a lot.
Tetcher, the accuracy.
66%. Yeah.
66%.
Ironically, Hawkeye, who has a voice line I never miss, 35%.
Kind of miss here and there. That's fine, Hawkeye. We just walk it off. You get shot, walk it off. That's no issue.
It's the most RP of the movies I've ever seen. Of Hawkeye doing really well, as you can see. Like, the stats are good, but getting outshined by Black Widow. It's about the most Marvel movies thing I can think of.
Yeah, that seems about MCU accurate right here. But then, really thinking about our picks and bans leading into this one, right, on our scoreboard, was the fact that Hela and Hawkeye actually getting protected is not something you'd expect to see.
And they don't pick
and
Hela.
King, you can tell with the Hela, but interesting. Yeah.
They don't pick Hela. They pick Black Widow. Is it to counter the Hela? To just sort of pick her off? You can see there, Hawkeye on the other side got 7k, it got eliminated 7 times, 4 for Hela. Were they just trying to target those backliners just as hard as they could?
I mean, I'm almost certain they've had to. I mean, really thinking about it, Bubble King and then ... I'm hoping I read that name correctly, considering it's all ellipses moving forward. I'm pretty certain we're probably trying to make a means of getting rid of the Mantis and Cloak and Dagger, right? Going into our backline. Like you said, some can be squishy, but then you have to think about the fact that, hey, Mantis has not only good sustain, but then she can also fight for herself and sneaking in the backline trying to get at her. All of a sudden, you're getting slammed by Cloak and Dagger's Terror Cloak moving forward, and with a 92% accuracy, considering it's just a Scarlet Witch sap damage, there's not much you can do after that fact.
I'm still just in shock that we're even seeing it. Like you say, the fact that you can't react to it is good if you're getting people eliminated that fast. The sap is going to make a difference if you're forced to stay there, if your backline's not helping you because they're kind of removed from the board. It's terrifying to see, but the fact that they did favor it over Hela... engagement farming. Responses in the comments. Do you think they picked the Black Widow because it's a team favorite, or were they just styling? Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
I'm gonna leave that first comment. I'm trying to say both here. Let's think about it, right? Because if you're going against JH, you're invincible, right? Moving into round 2, you realized, hey, they have a fairly strong Black Widow. Maybe we target ban that going into round 3. No? We ban different characters entirely. We get rid of the Luna Snow. We don't want Fate of Both Worlds in our hands. We get rid of the Psylocke. We don't want Dance of the Butterfly. We don't want the Shuriken Dash. She has stealth, and especially on a map like round 3, like Hall of the Dahlia, it's going to make it more of an issue. And then the Black Widow still gets played. They try to counterplay with Hela and Hawkeye of their own. We saw how that went. We saw how that ended, Tetcher.
Although, shout out to Timo, by the way, with the 5 KOs, almost equaling his team's elimination count by themselves. Just really putting the team on their back as Doctor Strange there to try and bring it home.
True, but still, that is still perplexing to me. The one Black Widow pick, and it's not Troll. Who would have thought?
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe they're just that much better. We don't know, but they did it twice. How many times can you do it before it stops being a for fun confidence pick and starts being something that is working? Because it worked twice.
I mean, it's true. And then going back into round 1, looking here, it looks like Happy actually went with Hela initially.
Yeah.
And then, Katie on the Namor, and then seeing that swap up into Black Widow, I'm like, okay, what plan changed? Like, there's no way.
Is it just the strength of the win? Again, because they got 19 eliminations on Hela. So it's not that Happy can't play Hela. That is definitely not the factor.
Happy just might be goated.
Maybe just goated. Hang on, wait. I can look at their profile, I think. Right click. View career.
Yeah. View career.
Statistics. 18 hours on Hela.
Wow.
How many on Black Widow? Almost 2 hours on Black Widow. So they are playing it.
Okay. So very much a DPS player, and a nasty one at that one. I'm seeing 2,800 knockouts right now.
Groot is also here.
Hold on, we have 2 minutes on Venom. You know what? I'll take that as a win.
And then we have, of course, our final bottom of the bracket, which is WW7 versus Name is Taken. WW7 are going to be coming off of that loss to Infinity. Invincible? What are their names? Invincible. They're going to be coming off of that loss, potentially a little demoralized. They have a night to rest up and get back into it, but that's a lot of pressure on them now.
Okay. Got you. So yeah, that should be fairly interesting. So we already went over Luxury Watch and Good Boy. That was a 3-2. But now that I can properly look at the stats here and see what actually happened. Let's see. Round 1. So pretty much a mirror match. We've talked about this before. The Doctor Strange Magneto combo. Both pretty much a shield heavy meta. And then, interestingly enough, I will say not that much of a difference in a strategist again. Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute, I'm yapping a little bit too much here. This is a damn near full mirror, except for a few picks, that being our Adam Warlock and then Psylocke, interestingly.
Well, it's a triple heal. It's a triple heal comp.
I'm looking more, yeah.
Luxury Watch. It didn't work,
it's triple
but
heals.
It is a triple heal comp. So
my brain was not processing this.
So if we look at the healing numbers, it does look like they may have been doing it the whole game as well, because it's not a situation where one person swaps on at the end and has a lower healing number. Adam Warlock just has a lower healing output than the other two. So it is definitely feasible here that they went triple heal the entire time in this game number 1. It did not work. Although, Adam Warlock, YOLO Magic with the top KOs for the team.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I had to take a look at the stats also. So on the side of Good Boy here, right?
Yes.
Just take a quick look obviously on that one. And then that's a 17 to 11 elim average coming in for V-Fire and Chuni, but then moving back over, that is...
Yeah, a little rougher. Okay. It looks like a very dominant performance by Good Boy in game number 1, which is crazy, because we already know that Luxury Watch won the series. So what happened?
Okay.
Let's look at game number 2. Let's see what happened different.
That
is so different. What happened? Although the KO numbers are equaling out a little bit, so they went back to a 2-2-2. So the experiment did not work, and they've gone back to a more standard setup here. Doctor Strange, Magneto, Hela, Moon Knight is here. That's cool to see. But then the double healers again. YOLO Magic, who was the sorry, I was looking at the wrong team there. So yeah, they still went with triple healer, but YOLO Magic, instead of the Adam Warlock, went with the Hawkeye this time, and that definitely seems to have made a difference. Sorry, I forgot they swap sides sometimes.
So it's understandable actually seeing like the Moon Knight Cloak and Dagger combo pop up, because the one team up that I feel is not as utilized, it's the Lunar Force. Because if I remember correctly, Moon Knight gets added evasion considering he can go invisible from that. Am I correct in that?
So, I think you may be correct.
Just triple checking.
Doing research.
So I feel that would make for some good escapes here, but then the fact that you can sneak pretty easily into backline, snap someone off the Onks and then into Crescent Blade, it's gross.
I do also want to just call out YOLO Magic, their team won, but at what cost? Getting eliminated 14 times. Only getting 10 final hits. So they actually had a negative KD.
Okay. 24 elims is still 24, but then seeing like the deaths that they had, 13 assists, I still feel is pretty solid. But then
again,
on
they
Hawkeye,
won,
35%. At what cost?
They had a terrible game, at least in terms of their enjoyment, but played really well and their team won.
So instead of answering to what did it cost, everything, we just ask, what did it cost? Our Hawkeye's accuracy.
We have our upper bracket games already set. So, Bibiak versus Kanga. We already talked about how strong Bibiak is coming in, fighting one of the highlighted teams to potentially take the whole thing and taking them out already. Whereas Kanga, they came through with what I can only call Civil War.
Captain America otherwise?
Captain America or otherwise. Captain Australia.
I was going to say, do you know how... You know what? I feel that's a lore tidbit that would be talked about later, but like instead of Captain America, we get Captain Australia. I can't even begin to imagine how chaotic that would be.
Probably, right? We'll get like we'll probably get like a Captain Britain or like a Penny, a Captain Carter skin, I expect, and then Captain Australia's got to exist, right?
Yeah.
Captain for everything.
Multiverse especially. It's like, wait, you're Captain Australia, right? It's like, yeah. Oh, which war do you fight in? The Emu War? The what?
Hang on.
I beg your pardon? Yeah, the giant birds. Huh?
Australia for the Emu War. So I fought Iron Man over like the Sokovia Accords. It was really intense. What happened to you, Captain Australia? They're everywhere. We just couldn't hit enough of them.
Who's everywhere?
It's got trauma.
The what?
Okay, Marvel fandom. Yes, Captain Australia is a thing. There have been 3 of them throughout history by the looks of it.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. Here's the main one. Captain Australia. That is a very old animation. Captain Australia, when Wolverine joined up with the International All-Captain Squad, consisting of Captain America, Captain Australia, Captain Brazil, Captain Britain, Captain Liechtenstein, and Wolverine was Captain Canada.
That is actually insane.
The more we know, so more skins for the future, yes please. That's a deep cut. If they release a Captain Australia, that's for us.
There is so much content that I feel rivals could pull from completely out of nowhere, and they could hit us with, oh, it's still canon. We wouldn't believe them, but somehow it's still canon.
BB-Yak and Kanga, who is your money on? I think we could do this at this point. Who is your money on between the 2?
If I had to say, and this might be, a little bit like cope, considering we watched it like round 10, I'd say Kanga.
Okay, I like it.
Because, looking back at their performance, right, and I'm going to be really insane about this. It was round 1, them versus Austerney on Hell's Heaven, right? They had one of the wildest back-and-forth matches possible, but then I'm almost certain that Chronic and Player K, right, had to come and clutch off those heels. Because there is an insane stat here. It was Chronic coming in on the Rocket Raccoon. However, they kind of knew what they were doing because they did pair that with Potato TV's, Bucky Winter Soldier. With Winter Soldier got a 37 elim game, Chronic came in 38 assists off rip, and then Player King with about 30,000 healing from Luna Snow. So they're definitely having a hard carry through here, and managed to climb above all on Hell's Heaven, which I thought was pretty insane, and still managed to make it out of this 3-0, which I thought was pretty fire.
I dig it. I really do. But I'm still going to go with BB-Yak. I think I've just seen how Luxury Watch have been playing, and I've seen so little gaps in their play style to beat, and the fact that BB-Yak 3-0'd them, I find it so difficult to vote against them, just out of how insane that achievement must have been.
If anything, I'm predicting, considering we're going into our best of 5s now, someone finishes this game 3-2.
I think
would not be surprised.
I would go with you on that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a blowout from either team here, and if it does happen, I'm going to be fairly disappointed that I had to sit through and watch or commentate, depending on how I feel. I'm hoping I don't get sick as a dog leading into tomorrow night, stuff like that, but if anything, I think this ends at a 3-2 between either team. I'm still going with Kanga.
I think you are right, 3-2, but I'm going to go with BB just because nice.
Okay.
Good job. So, Tom Young-Kung, and I believe WW is invincible.
Got you.
So where's your money for that one?
All right. I'm trying to think. And this is leading into our round 11 play. Am I right on that one?
Yeah, this would technically be round 12 because 11 is just the lower bracket stuff.
Okay. Because, it says round 12. Not available yet. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Marvel,
we can see it. Give it to us. But no, they don't do it until the previous round is closed. We're just a little ahead thanks to the internet. Thank you, Wikipedia.
True. Thank you. So, if anything, as much as I want to put faith in Tom Young-Kung, right, how do I say this without sounding mean? I feel their bracket run has been based off of the fact that, it's not really an amount of luck, but the fact that they haven't exactly ran into some of the heavy hitter teams, including Crispy Fries, because we did see how that first go-around went for them. It was not the best. It wasn't too hot.
It was a close matchup, but they did lose. And that is important to say. True. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
But I've never heard that before.
Have you know it's an American phrase?
It is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then moved to California. Not once have I ever heard that.
Oh, well, fair enough. We learned together.
You know what? The more you know.
Exactly. It's also true.
Let's see.
So are you looking at Invincible just due to how Tom Young-Kung might have had the easier run and Invincible have had to fight their way through more.
Yeah, I'd say if anyone... Okay, so taking a look back at, like, you know, KXJH versus Invincible. That was Invincible taking a 3-0 here. Okay, so really focusing on that one, it was JH for one, and then Invincible taking another off of here. If Tom Young-kung, right, has to contend with the fact that they are just straight up, and I'm going to be real here, having to go up against Cadia and Happy. Those are two top DPS players on the side of Invincible, right? With the stats that they had, and then Invincible with Happy pulling out the Black Widow, doesn't get banned a second time, does it again, gets 30 elims, pops off on a second. I think Tom Young-kung might be in a little bit of danger here.
I would not want to argue with you on that. I think I'm just looking through Invincible's match history here, and they've had one bye, but 2 buys, there we go. But they haven't lost a map, as far as I can tell. I need to go back through the open bracket to like see if they lost one there. But it doesn't look like they've lost a single map so far. You can't say the same from Tom Young-kung. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the open qualifier and see if I can find them. Where is Invincible? I've lost them. There's too many teams now. I'm in the weeds. Oh, they're going to be a team in white, aren't they? I'm being silly. No. Oh, there they are. Okay, so yeah, another bye. All right, so hang on. We need to go back and then open qualifiers, check rankings, find Invincible. There they are, 10-0. They have not lost a map, a single one.
Okay, so I'm pretty confident in saying, and unless Tom Young-kung hits us with a massive upset leading forward, I think Invincible takes this one.
I don't think I would disagree with you. The fact they have some of these sleeper picks, whether they were serious or not, it's there and it works. And that is a little scary.
And it worked a little too well. That's the scary part about it.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. So, unless Tom Young-kung, they have tonight and tomorrow. Hang on, what's the date on the upper bracket? It does not tell me. I believe it's still the 4th. Yeah, the 4th. There we go. So they've got till tomorrow to like look it up and like try and work out a solution. Is that enough time? I'm not so sure. So I'm with you. I think I'm going to go for Invincible.
Okay. We've got our picks in. Nice.
We are in. So yeah, is there anything else you want to cover?
Let's see. Anything else I want to cover?
Do predictions on the lower bracket as well? Speed run.
I mean, that's up to you.
Let's do a speed round. Let's do it. So
okay,
obviously,
speed run.
I'm going to predict the Luxury Watch beats Good Boy. I feel confident on that one.
Gee, who would have thought? It's not like we can totally see it's like 3-2, but geez.
That's crazy. Okay, so
Man,
I'm going to go.
Wild.
I think I'm going to agree with what you said earlier. So I think we're probably going for the same route on this one. I'm going with Mud Dog for the next round versus Oz Tawny.
Got you. I hear you on that one. And then we also have Main Tank Diff and Marv Tool Rival Ones. Oh my god, that is a mouthful of a name.
I'm going to go with Marvel Rivals because I think they've had a more solid run through the tournament. They only went down, I believe, to the lower bracket because they could not attend an upper bracket game.
Got you. And then we have KXJH versus Name is Taken. I think after the performance that we saw between Invincible and KXJH and then Name is Taken, they did manage to overtake, full pun intended, against Horizon leading into our lower bracket. I think I gotta go with Name is Taken moving forward here.
I am actually with you on that. Fully agree. So those are our predictions. I think Name is Taken have had a much more solid run than WW7, especially after what we saw.
Yeah.
Well, Ash, thank you so much for joining me today to like break down the bracket. Where can people find you? Where can people see more of you outside of the main broadcast? Because everyone's already following that, I hope. Fingers crossed, follow the main broadcast if you're not already.
Yeah, so outside of the main broadcast, my name is Ashurvok pretty much everywhere. You can find me there on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky. I don't really use that app though. I just have it just in case. And, Twitter. So everywhere.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you all for watching, everybody. It has been a amazing day of talking about Marvel Rivals. I hope we can do this again in the future. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. And like, subscribe, do all the fun things. I always forget to do them until right at the end. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. I try to clap when I'm doing it with someone else, because what I usually do in my own broadcast is usually just yell very loud.
Understandable. But real.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you make a mistake while recording and you need to scream into the void. It happens to everyone.
Scream into the void. Okay, calm it down now. Protoss player spotted. That's wild.
I was a random player, but yes, I did play Protoss the most.
I played Zerg. I thought they were just neat. I like bugs. They're pretty cool.
They're just Tyranids with personality.
True. Even though Tyranids are like far more scarier in retrospect. Now that I think about it, entire like biohive ships. Ugh.
They're still going.
I don't like
They're still causing hella problems. They are currently like the big bad. Actually, no. Currently Chaos is the big bad, and are like. Do you care about 40k lore at all?
I have miniatures.
Heck
I play 40k.
Are you aware of the Pariah Nexus storyline that's happening right now?
I'm not, and I'm concerned.
So, the Pariah Nexus is basically a thing that was set up by the Silent King, where he set up obelisks that basically sap souls. They don't, like, steal the souls, but they suppress them. So, people just sort of lose... They're cut off from the warp, which is kind of where souls live. So they don't do anything. So people who are in this, like, Pariah Nexus field, they'll just lose the will to do anything and live. This results in a load of Imperium worlds going dark, and people being like, what the fuck happened? So Gilliman sends the Ultramarines there to work out what the hell's happening. The Ultramarines go there and can barely move because their souls are getting suppressed. They land on a planet. It's crunchy ass with sticks. Turns out it's not sticks. It's all like the wildlife on the planet has just died because the birds and the animals, they don't have the will to move, so they just sort of sit there and die. The whole reason Psychic is doing this is because he wants to, like, keep the bodies fresh, like the human bodies fresh, and use them as potential bodies for the Necrons to, like, try and get them back into, but they need a load of bodies for that. Probably won't work because their souls were nom-nom-nommed by the Catan, but that's what he wants to do. So the Ultramarines send out a message being like, help! This isn't great. So the Sisters of Battle show up, and apparently their belief is so hard that they are affected way less by the Pariah Nexus, as are the Adeptus Mechanicus. As Gilliman sends, along with some Sisters of Battle, he sends Belisarius Call to the Pariah Nexus to work out what's going on. This results in Belisarius Call showing up with his own ship and finding Necrons. Lots of Necrons. The Adeptus Mechanicus slightly less affected by the Pariah Nexus. They can actually operate here. So the Necrons start killing Marines and Sisters and Adeptus. Skitari. Belisarius says, well, we need to get rid of these guys so we can study, and starts blowing them up. The Silent King is not so happy about this, so he shows up and starts blowing them up. Belisarius Call escalates to the and they both start escalating back and forth to the point where Belisarius, with his golden age of humanity super weapons that he's collected, is going toe-to-toe with a super doomsday weapon off with the Silent King. Like, at one point, the Silent King throw a star at Cole's ships and blow up a load. Cole throws a black hole at them that eats half a planet and then disappears. So they're just nuking each other back and forth with doomsday weapons. And then Vashtor shows up. He's still around. The chaos god of invention shows up and is just like, ha, isn't this funny? I'm about to cause problems. And the book ends.
What the? Hold on, no. I was just getting interested in that. You're fucking lying. Oh my god.
We don't know what happens from here. Or at least I don't. I'm not up to date fully. But yeah, the Vashtor, the Chaos God of Invention, shows up while Call and the Silent King... Oh, also, the fucking Stormlord is here, taking opportunity advantage of the fact that the Silent King is distracted and is, like, hitting him from behind as well. So there's the Stormlord, Silent King, Vashtor, and Belisarius Call, with Gilliman potentially on the way, all in one area causing problems.
Oh my god.
Oh, also, why can't I remember his name? Leader of the Orcs. Gazgul.
Gazgul, Michael Udukathraka, my beloved.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He might be looking to fight Angron.
Ooh, okay.
Because this is not confirmed, but there is a conspiracy theory. In Angron's new model, one of the skulls on his necklace looks suspiciously like Commissar Yarrick.
Okay, you know how much of a problem that's going to be for Angron, because how dare you mess with Gazgul's work husband like this?
Favorite boy.
Let's not do that.
Let's
not do that. Like, what do you mean you messed with my man? Bro, I'd be hard pressed too.
Hell yeah. So yeah, those are some dramas that might be happening in 40K right now.
Okay, got you. That's so going in a video. It's just, yeah, while we were on break, we had to discuss 40 Warhammer lore. It's my bad.
That's the post game. That's the end credits.